Chosen one, I need you to stop everything you are doing right now. This is not a suggestion, and it cannot wait until you finish your next thought. Listen closely, because what the Father has revealed regarding your current season has sent shockwaves through the spiritual realm. There is something that is formed inside of you, something so profound and so quiet that you probably didn't even notice its growth until it became impossible for heaven and hell to ignore. I'm not talking about a skill you studied in a book or a technique you picked up from a mentor. I am talking about a divine power that has matured in the secret places of your soul. You have mastered a frequency that has the devil himself sitting in the front row, not to attack you, but to study you. He is confused. He is frustrated. And for the first time in eons, he is actually trying to learn from a human. The word of the Lord says, "Oh, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." You haven't just been surviving your battles. You have been rewriting the laws of spiritual physics. If you have noticed that the weapons formed against you are not just failing, but they are literally malfunctioning in ways that defy logic, then this message is your confirmation. Type 999 in the comments right now if you feel that shift in your spirit. Stay with me until the very end of this video, because I am going to pull back the curtain on a celestial secret they call frequency dominion. I will show you exactly why your file in heaven has been flagged for special attention and why the dark realms are currently studying you like a textbook they simply cannot comprehend. If you leave now, you might miss the very key that explains why your life has felt like a battlefield, and more importantly, how you already won without firing a single shot. You see, there is a constant surveillance happening around you. Every tear you cried in private, every betrayal you endured with silence, and every time you chose love over bitterness was recorded. Most people follow a predictable pattern. When they are hurt, they bleed hate. When they are betrayed, they breed resentment. But you broke the cycle. You did something so rare that the angels paused their documentation to call for a consultation from the higher ranks. You have moved beyond just being a victim of circumstances. You have become a spiritual alchemist. You are no longer just absorbing the poison the world throws at you. You are turning it into medicine. This is the moment your identity shifts from a warrior to a master. This is why the atmosphere around you feels different. The enemy thought he was burying you, but he didn't realize you were a seed of light capable of turning his darkness into your greatest growth. Get ready, because as we move forward, I'm going to reveal the exact mechanics of how you are doing this, and why your future is now on a divine fast track that no power on earth can stop. We are just getting started, and the revelation coming next will change the way you look at your enemies forever. You need to understand that what is happening inside you is a phenomenon that defies the standard laws of spiritual physics. Most people walk through life as mere sponges. They soak up the atmosphere around them. When the world is cold, they become cold. When someone hurls an insult at them, they store that venom in their veins until it turns into bitterness, or worse, they pass it on to someone innocent, becoming a link in a chain of endless pain. This is the distribution system of darkness, and for centuries it has worked with clockwork precision. But you have introduced a glitch into their system. You have developed what the celestial archives call frequency dominion. This isn't just a fancy term, it is the rare, God-given ability to receive a high-velocity strike of negative energy, and before it even touches your core, you transmute it into something entirely different. Think about that. You aren't just blocking the hits. Blocking is exhausting. Deflecting is dangerous because it might hit a bystander. No, you are doing something much more radical. You are taking the very lead of their hatred and turning it into the gold of your purpose. This is why the dark realms are in a state of absolute panic. They sent a curse to destroy your mind, but somehow that curse arrived at your doorstep and turned into a breakthrough. They sent betrayal to break your heart, but instead of shattering, your heart expanded with a level of compassion that shouldn't exist in someone who has been treated the way you have. Darkness directed at you becomes light emanating from you. Hatred sent your way becomes wisdom that flows through you. You are literally using their own energy to fuel your ascension. Do you realize how revolutionary this is? In the hierarchy of darkness, there is no such thing as transformation. Fallen entities can corrupt, they can twist, and they can poison, but they are fundamentally incapable of transmuting darkness into light. That door is locked to them forever. So when they see a human being, someone they consider fragile and limited, doing something that even the most powerful fallen prince cannot do, it drives them to a level of obsession you cannot imagine. They are watching you right now, trying to reverse engineer your soul. They want to know where the filter is. They want to find the machine inside you that takes their best weapons and melts them down into tools for your growth. But here is the secret. They will never find it. Because this power doesn't come from a technique or a ritual. It comes from the fact that you have remained connected to the original frequency of creation, the frequency of love. Think back to the last few months. Remember those moments when you felt like you were under an invisible, heavy pressure. Every door seemed to slam shut, and every person you trusted seemed to turn their back. In those moments, a choice was made in the silence of your spirit. You didn't give in to the urge to burn everything down. You didn't become the monster they tried to make you. Instead, you sat in the fire, and you let it refine you. Heaven saw this. Your guardian angel flagged your file because you demonstrated a level of spiritual technology that most humans never achieve in 100 lifetimes. You have graduated from being a victim of the spiritual climate to being the one who dictates the weather. And as we move into the next part of this revelation, I'm going to show you why the devil's new strategy is no longer about trying to break you, but about trying to figure out if he can steal the blueprint of your heart. Don't move, because what I'm about to tell you about the devil's personal interest in your case will explain every weird coincidence you've experienced lately. The shift is here, and your mastery is the reason why. Listen to me very carefully, because what I am about to tell you will explain the eerie silence you've felt in the spiritual atmosphere lately. When the reports reached the highest levels of the dark hierarchy, something unprecedented happened. The ruler of darkness didn't order a bigger army to march against you. He didn't send more powerful demons to disrupt your sleep or sabotage your finances. Instead, he ordered his best analysts to stand down and simply observe. He wants to know the mechanics of your soul. He is obsessed with trying to reverse engineer the process of how you, a human made of dust, can do something that he, with all his ancient knowledge and original angelic power, can never do again. You see, when the enemy fell from grace, he didn't just lose his position, he lost the ability to transmute. He can corrupt, he can twist, he can destroy, but he can never, ever turn darkness into light. That frequency is permanently locked away from him. Every time you take a betrayal and turn it into a lesson, every time you take a loss and turn it into a seed of gratitude, you are flaunting a power that drives him into a state of absolute fury. You are a living reminder of everything he threw away. His intelligence network has been tracking your responses across every difficult situation you've faced, searching for a vulnerability in your filtration system. But the report that came back infuriated him. It stated that your ability cannot be replicated because it is built on a foundation of love, a creative force that fallen entities can no longer access. You are literally doing the impossible in the eyes of the spiritual realm. And I want to give you the evidence that this power is already active in your life so you can stop doubting yourself. Look at your recovery time. Think back a few years. A betrayal used to knock you flat for months, maybe years. But now, you feel the sting, you process the pain, and within days or weeks, you are back on your feet, stronger and wiser than before. That isn't just getting older. That is your internal transmutation engine running at master level efficiency. You have reached a point where you are no longer a victim of the attacks. You are the beneficiary of them. The enemy meant to bury you, but he accidentally trained you to become his greatest nightmare, a human who converts every weapon formed against them into an upgrade. This is why the darkness approaches you with caution now. They realize that attacking you is counterproductive. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Every time they throw something at you, your light only burns brighter. But here is where it gets even more intense. In the next part, I am going to reveal how this mastery has changed your security clearance in heaven. You aren't just a survivor anymore. You have been classified with a new title that changes everything about what God is about to trust you with in this coming season. Don't look away, because your next assignment is much bigger than the battle you just left behind. While the enemy is busy studying your movements, something far more significant has occurred in the courts of heaven. I need you to understand that every chosen one has a celestial file that tracks their growth, their choices, and their responses to the fires of life. Most of these files receive routine updates, but yours recently received a marker that changed your entire classification. You have been officially registered as a frequency master. This promotion didn't happen because you performed a grand miracle in front of a crowd. It happened in a moment of private agony that you probably thought was your breaking point. It was that night when you were wounded by someone you loved, when you had every legal right in the spiritual realm to become bitter, to seek revenge, or to let your heart turn to stone. But in that silent, painful darkness, you chose to keep your frequency high. You refused to let their shadow determine your light. Heaven stopped to watch that moment, and your guardian angel flagged it for special attention because you demonstrated mastery under extreme pressure. Because of this mastery, a specific protocol has been activated over your life called accelerated fulfillment. Listen to me. Under normal circumstances, blessings and assignments are released according to careful, gradual timelines to ensure the soul is ready. But you have proven that you don't need years of extra preparation. You have shown that you can handle the weight of the gold without losing your soul in the process. This means that the blessings scheduled for 5 years from now are being moved up to this season. Doors that were marked with specific opening dates in your future have been unlocked right now. You have likely already felt this, a strange sense of urgency, a feeling that you are standing on the edge of a massive shift. That isn't anxiety. That is your spirit picking up the signal of heavenly acceleration. The Father is trusting you with more because you proved you can transform the less into greatness. You are no longer subject to the standard waiting periods of the spiritual realm. While others are struggling to find their way, your path is being systematically cleared. Enemies who were meant to oppose you are being reassigned or neutralized because you have already extracted every lesson they had to offer. Resistance is turning into momentum, but there is a deeper reason for this promotion. As a frequency master, you aren't just being blessed for your own comfort. You are being deployed. In the next part, I am going to show you exactly what your new assignment looks like and why your very presence is about to become a threat to the chaos of this world. The world is getting darker, but you have become the light that doesn't just shine, it transforms everything it touches. You are no longer just a survivor of the storm. You have become the one who stabilizes the atmosphere wherever you go. In the spiritual realm, your classification as a frequency master means you have reached a state of internal equilibrium that is independent of external conditions. Most humans spend their entire lives oscillating like a pendulum. A good day raises their frequency. A bad day drops it into fear or anger. Their internal world is a slave to the external world. But you have broken that chains. You have learned to maintain your vibration even when the world around you is screaming in chaos. And because you are now a stable source of high frequency, heaven is beginning to leverage your presence in ways you haven't yet imagined. You are being deployed into environments where lower frequencies have become dominant. Places where fear, despair, and bitterness have taken root. The world is entering a season of increasing global chaos, and the collective human experience is drowning in anxiety. In this darkness, frequency masters like you are desperately needed. You are not being sent to preach at people or to lecture them about their low vibrations. You are being sent simply to exist among them. When you walk into a room, the spiritual weather shifts because your frequency is more powerful and more stable than the chaos surrounding it. You bring order to disorder just by breathing. Think about your immediate environment lately. Have you noticed how people react to you? Some may be drawn to you like a moth to a flame, seeking the peace they cannot find within themselves. Others may become suddenly uncomfortable and leave your life without any logical explanation. This is not a personal rejection, it is a frequency mismatch. They cannot maintain their connection to someone operating at your level because it forces them to confront the shadows they are trying to hide. Do not feel guilty for the people who fall away. You are simply becoming incompatible with anything that refuses to rise. You are a filter for humanity, taking in the pollution of a broken world and releasing purified, high-frequency energy back into the collective. This is your ministry. This is the reason you were designed with such a massive capacity for pain, so that you could develop a massive capacity for transmutation. Every bit of negativity you transform is a bit of darkness that stops circulating through the human family. As we move into the final part of this revelation, I am going to give you specific, conscious instructions on how to operate in this mastery. I will show you how to stop exhausting yourself through protection and start empowering yourself through alchemy. The enemy is watching, yes, but he is watching his own defeat play out in real time. You are about to step into a level of authority that will make the past seasons look like elementary school. Now that you recognize the power you carry, I must give you specific instructions for consciously operating in this mastery. While you develop this ability through the fire of suffering, understanding its mechanics will allow you to use it with surgical precision. The first instruction is to stop trying to protect yourself from negative energy. This sounds counterintuitive because the world tells you to build walls, but protection creates resistance, and constant resistance is what has been exhausting you. You don't need walls when you have a furnace. Instead of keeping negativity out, let it come and trust your soul's ability to alchemize it. Second, you must master the pause. When you feel a negative energy entering your field, whether it's an insult, a setback, or a sudden wave of fear, pause before you respond. That pause is the laboratory where transmutation happens. In that space, the energy touches your foundation of love and emerges as something different. When you finally speak or act, you aren't reacting with what you received. You are responding with what you have created. The enemy is currently trying 3 desperate strategies to bypass your filter. First, he is sending an overwhelming volume of attacks, hoping to clog your system and make you tired. But he miscalculated. Your capacity increases with use. Every attack you transmute only makes your soul stronger for the next one. Second, he is attacking through people you trust, hoping your filter won't recognize threats from friends. But your mastery is source independent. Energy is energy, and you will process it into growth regardless of who sent it. Third, he is launching internal attacks through your own thoughts and memories. When you notice self-doubt, realize it is just raw energy. Pause. Recognize the lie, and let your transmutation engine turn that doubt into fuel for deeper self-standing. You have made heaven proud, not because you were perfect, but because you were transformative. You took every imperfect circumstance and turned it into perfect development. The world is waiting for leaders who don't just survive the dark, but who change the very nature of the darkness itself. Walk forward knowing that every opposition from this moment on is simply more funding for your advancement. You are a frequency master, and your time is now. You have arrived at a place of spiritual authority that few ever reach. Remember, your suffering was never meaningless. It was the furnace where your greatness was forged. Every wound you carried became an ability that cannot be destroyed. You are valuable to heaven and a legitimate threat to the foundations of hell. As you step into this next season, walk with the confidence of someone who knows that no weapon formed against them can prosper, because every weapon will simply be melted down and added to your crown. If this revelation resonated in the deepest part of your soul, and you recognize yourself as a frequency master ready to claim your power, write 777 in the comments to activate this truth in your life. If you found value in this message and want to stand with us, please comment 999. If you feel there is room for us to improve or have a different perspective, press 0 or leave your thoughts below. We value your voice and want to make this content as impactful as possible. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications so you never miss a revelation about your true identity. Your support gives us the strength to keep bringing these messages to the world. Share this video with another chosen one who needs to know why their battles are finally turning into blessings. Together, we are an unstoppable force of light. The fight isn't over, it's just getting started, and this time, you have the upper hand. See you in the next video as we dive deeper into the assignments heaven has prepared for you.